Hello everyone, welcome to Ajiro Tech. Ajiro Tech. In this video, we're going to be looking at the CIE, IGCSE Information and Communication Technology. The course code is 0417, and we're looking at variant 11. 11. Okay, yeah, 11. Okay, May June 2023, and we're looking at the paper 1 theory. It's a 1 hour 30 minutes video. Yes, I promised my students I'm going to do a video on it, and this is me keeping to my promises. Yeah, you like it, right? So I keep to my promises. Okay, so please, the instructions are very important. Okay, go through the instructions and to ensure that you're doing the right thing. For example, use a black or a dark blue pen. Don't use any other pen, right? Okay, and don't use an erasable pen or correction fluid. Okay, don't write on any barcodes. Okay, use HB pencils for any diagrams, graphs, or rough working. Okay, total marks for this paper is 80 marks. 80. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now, question 1, which is 1 mark. A book has ISBN, which is 330247204X. Tick the most appropriate data type for the ISBN. Now, this is what we use for these are for books, to identify the kind of books and of course to register them. Now we'll talk about data types. Data types are those types of data, okay, that should be in that particular field. They identify the kind of data that should be on a particular field. And this is really chapter 7 of the textbook. Like, if you've been watching my theory videos, you know that I always make references to where you can get the answers from your textbook, okay, which is actually really cool. Okay, so let's go to chapter 7 of your textbook. Okay, chapter 7, system life cycle. I'm going to go with the speed of light. Okay, speed of light, chapter 7. Okay, chapter 7. Okay, chapter 7 is right here. Okay, so design. Okay, so right here, design, you're going to see this. This is it right here, data types. Okay, so these are the data types we have. Okay, you can see alphanumeric, you can see text. This can be strings of letter or numbers or any type of symbol. We have alphanumeric that can store characters or numeric data. Okay, we have characters, which is just a single letter, and text, they are strings of characters. We have numeric data types to store numeric data, and we have 4 of them. We have integer, which is whole number, decimal or real. For Microsoft Access, it is seen as double. Okay, and then we have currency, and we have date and time. So going back to this question, take the most appropriate data type for this. Now we're given this, and here we're able to see numbers, and then there is an alphabet. The options given here is numeric, integer, nope. Boolean is for yes or no. Okay, we have it right here. For Boolean is what they store, what, a yes or no, or true or false. Okay, we have date. Obviously this falls under numeric, which is date. So the only option available here is text. I think can I take this? This is a blue. Yes, text. Because text, and you see that in Microsoft Access, you see that we have short text, which can be able to contain both numbers and of course your characters as well. Okay, so yes, so the text, or what you call your alphanumeric, can actually do that. All right, question 2. Hope that was fun. Okay, let's go to question 2. Now we have identify the hardware from the description given. When you hear of hardware, one chapter comes to mind. Chapter 1 of your textbook. Okay, types and component of the computer. Okay, system. Chapter 1 of the textbook. So let's go to chapter 1 of the textbook real quick. Chapter 1 of the textbook, and you can see that hardware are physical components of the computer system. We have the internal and we have the external right here. Hardware, the software. So hardware is at the top. Yes, hardware, right? Physical components, and we have input and output devices. Input devices that used to send data, output devices that used to display those data to users. We have monitors, projectors, plotters. Okay, we have the inputs. We have internal and external. Internal hardware are those physical components that are found inside the computer system. Okay, so let's go back to the question just a bit. Like I'm teaching, I'm providing answer. That is what my paper one is all about. Okay, all right. Identify the hardware from the given description. From the description given. Okay, a volatile internal memory that stores the current instruction. When we talk about internal memory, okay, we have two of them. We have the random access memory and the read-only memory. You see all this in chapter 1, really, right? And then again, we will talk about volatile. Volatile are those information that is stored on them. Those informations are lost once there is a power failure. So now a volatile internal memory, they'll be specific. Now the answer right there is the random access memory. I'm going to type it right here, random access memory. I know I don't type. I will do my best in this video to actually do that. Okay, RAM. All right, blue. I'm using the blue pen as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one. Right, a printed circuit board containing the CPU and other components of a computer. Still chapter 1. Okay. Now we'll talk about a printed circuit board. Now what comes to mind? I'm going to show you. Before I tell you the answer, I'm going to show you. It is the motherboard. Now, this is where it is. Can you see that? A motherboard is a printed what? Circuit board. This is why it is important to always read the textbook. Now, I got you covered with this because I've done a video, a playlist of chapter 1 to chapter 11 right here on my YouTube channel. And you can have fun with it, study with it, prepare with it to ensure that at the end of the day, with paper 1, you're having your A star. Okay, so yes, it's a printed circuit board found in all computers. It allows what? The processor and other computer hardware to function and communicate with what? Each other. Can you see that? Okay, each other. So this becomes what? The motherboard. Okay, I'm going to show you each of them in the textbook where you can get them. So we've seen chapter 1 or question 1 was chapter 7. Question 2 is what? Chapter 1. So please take note of this these chapters, okay? Especially for the early IGCSE students, okay? Now, let's look at the next question. Still this. A printed circuit board that controls the output to a monitor. A printed circuit board. Now, it controls the output. Now, the output given to the monitor. Now, remember, it's part of, watch this, it's part of the circuit board. This is a circuit board containing the CPU and other components. Now, inside the circuit board, it controls the output. The output, what you see, to what is being displayed in the monitor. So, I'm able to see all this because there is a printed circuit board that controls the output. And that printed circuit board is what we call the graphic card. Right here. Do we have it here? Yes. Can you see that? A graphic card allows the computer to send graphical images to a video display device, such as what? Monitor, television, or projector. Can you see that? Yes. Okay. So this is going to be graphics card. Okay. Okay. Graphics. The D part. Are we getting somewhere? The D part. A printed circuit board that is installed in a computer so that the computer can be connected to a network. For you to be able to browse with your laptop. Think of it. Okay. I know you know the answer. You're like, just say it, okay? Right? So that allows your computer to be able to communicate to a network, right? We have what we call the NIC, yeah, the network interface card. Okay. All right. So we have it right here as well. Okay. What? Let me see. Look at it right here. The network interface card is a company that allows a computer or other devices, for example a printer, to be connected to what? To a network. So we have what we call the network interface what? Card. Network interface card, NIC. Okay. Now let's look at question 3. A head teacher is setting up a newsletter. Now, head teachers, right, in primary, in the key stage 5 below, is setting up newsletters to send to parents of public schools, of public at a school. She has some photographs saved on storage devices that she needs to place in the newsletter. Okay, now she set up a newsletter to send to parents of publics, send it to parents of public at the school. She has some photographs saved on storage devices and she needs to place them in the newsletter. State 2 communication methods which the head teacher could use to upload the photographs onto the school network. This is I see communications here, I see network here. Okay. Okay, let's see how we can solve this, and then we can be able to derive where this is actually coming from the textbook. Now, communication method the head teacher will use to upload the photographs onto the school network is she can connect the storage as storage devices. She has some photographs saved on the storage devices and she used to place it in the newsletter. Then they're asking for the communication method the head teacher would use to upload the photograph onto the school network. So first of all, this can be done by connecting a storage device, okay, by Wi-Fi. Okay, by Wi-Fi. She could do that by Wi-Fi. Okay, she could also use a USB, okay, connecting the storage by Bluetooth as well. So this is what you see this in chapter 3, networks. No, chapter 4. Okay, networks and the effects of using them, right here. And you see them here talking about communication, the use of Wi-Fi and wireless fidelity, and the use of Bluetooth. Okay. Yes, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Okay, they offer wireless communications between devices. Both use electromagnetic radiation as the carrier of what? Data transmission. So connecting a storage device, okay, to the computer. Now that storage device that she has, okay, by USB, okay, by USB cable, connecting that also by Bluetooth. Okay, that's another thing she can do by uploading it to a school network. Okay, so the method the head teacher could use to upload the photographs that she has onto the school network. She could do that by connecting a storage device by Wi-Fi, that's uploading it to the cloud. Okay, and then she can upload it there. Since she has a storage device, she can also do that by connecting that storage device, okay, by USB cable and then also by Bluetooth as well. Okay, so we have connecting. Okay, let's see how we can write this. Connecting, okay, storage device, okay, by Wi-Fi, by wireless fidelity, and also for this it can also be connecting, okay, the storage device to the computer, okay, by what? USB cable. okay, by USB cable. All right. Now this is for chapter 4. Let's go on. Describe the purpose of a web browser. Okay, now this is what we use for paper 3. So what's the purpose of a web browser? Let's start with that. Okay, what's the purpose of a web browser? And we can see this in chapter 10. Yeah, chapter 10 of the textbook. I'm going to check as well to confirm this. Now, the purpose of a web browser is where web pages are being displayed. Yeah. Okay, where web pages are being displayed. With the help of a web browser, when we are developing our web page, we need a web browser to be able to display. So the web page is being displayed. Okay, it's being displayed. Okay, for viewing. That's one. Okay. Another thing, the purpose of the web browser is that it allows the user to be able to navigate to other informations. That's the web browser. So now with the web browser you can be able to view web pages, websites, and with the web browser you can be able to navigate. Okay. Another important thing is that the web browser retrieves. Okay, it retrieves those codes, those HTML codes from from the downloads. Okay, it retrieves those codes from from the downloads information resources. When you are viewing it is a download. It's a download. Okay, and also with the power of the web browser, you can be able to run client side scripts on the web page. You can be able to check the scripts of that web page. So these are starting few of the purposes of a web browser. Let's check this in the textbook. Chapter 10 of the textbook. Chapter 10. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So this is web browsers. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. So the www, the internet, the search engine, the blogs. Okay, look at it. It's right here, chapter 10. Right? So web addresses, URL, hyperlinks, and web browser. So web browser is a software that allows a user to display a web page on their computer screen. That's what it does. So it's a software. It allows a user. A software that allows the user to display the web page on their computer screen. They help to interpret or translate the HTML from website and show the result of the translation. However, they can be in the form of videos or images. Now, they said these are features, homepage, history, etc., etc. Do we have the purpose? Okay, the purpose is not here. Okay, this is split with HTTP, which is domain host, www, domain name, domain type. Okay, the path, the file name. Okay, so that's from what we have read. That is just what it is. Okay, so we have the first one as how do we put this? The web page is displayed. Okay, to view by the user. That's the purpose. Okay, another one is to run client side. Okay, scripts on the web page. Okay, and now I know it's 2 marks, but then again, this is kind of like an explanation. Okay, this is more like an in-depth teaching, so I'm going to, as much as possible, say more than 2 so that you can be able to understand all this. Okay, another one is to retrieve code I think I'm not spelling the retrieve well. Retrieve code, okay, from the download, okay, from the downloads information resources, okay, yeah, okay, as much as that, okay. So very important. And I think we can add another one. Yeah, I think we can add another one. Allow, I think I said something, allows the user, yes, to navigate, which is what we read here, okay. Let me scroll up. Allows that to what, to navigate what, backward and forward to websites. Can you see that? Okay. Display to navigate, okay, to navigate to websites, to navigate to websites, okay, or other informations. All right, so we have this, okay. So let's go ahead. A company may use an intranet or an extranet. Still chapter 10. Describe the difference between an intranet and extranet. Okay, let's look at this. Intranet. Okay, let's start with intranet. Now, intranet are those networks that are used within a company. That, look at it, it's right here, chapter 10. Why extranet is an extension of that network. Okay, right here. Difference. So it was explained here. Okay, most companies are intranet as well, intranet as well as internet. Intranet is defined as a computer network based on technological or internet technology, but designed to meet the internal needs for sharing information within a single organization or company. So is what is the whole essence of the intranet is to meet internal needs, sharing information within a single organization of or company. That's what it does, and we're taking that right away, right? So it shares intranet shares information, okay, information within and what, within a single organization. Why the extranet, now what the extranet does, shares, okay, information with what, customers outside the organization. It's an extension of the network. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Let me see. Okay, so I have this. Okay, so very important, and we've looked at it here. Okay, now, but when we talk about single what, organization or company, access to the internet is usually confined to a company organization, unlike the internet that is available to general public. Now, when we now talk about extranet, right? It allows the internet to be extended outside the organization, but still with the same advantage as the intranet, right? It allows trading partners to have control access to some informations. Okay, now right here, what's the difference between internet and what, the intranet? Okay, this is for internet and intranet. One is public, the other one is private. So we have that. Okay, so but for what we've learned, we've seen one. Okay, we've seen one which is very important. Now the next thing is the intranet is also part of the intranet. Okay, and Another difference there is why the extranet is an extension. It can also lead to some, kind of like security breaches. But then again, we were talking about differences between, which is also a difference, unlike the internet that is well confined to within the organization. Now, another one is the intranet allows communication within the organization. Okay, whereas why extranet, okay, allows communication, okay, with outside, allows communication outside the organization. Example, e.g. customers. Okay, customers. Okay, we can also see that internet is owned by a single organization, unlike the internet that is for that nobody owns it. The internet is owned by a single organization, whereas the extranet, okay, can be used by several organizations, which is another key difference as well. Okay, state the safety issues that is most likely to occur for each of these courses. Now, this brings me to chapter 8 of the textbook. Okay, brings me to chapter 8 of the textbook, where we look at physical and security of data. Yeah, let's check it. Chapter 8 of the textbook. Physical and security of data. Chapter 8 of the textbook. Chapter 8 of the textbook. Chapter 8. Safety and security. Yeah, safety and security. Yeah, safety and security. Okay. So right here, this is for physical safety. Okay, physical safety. Now, it is different to health risk, right? Physical safety talks about the precautions we have to take while handling these equipment. Okay. All right. So let's look at this. Spilling drinks on computer equipment will cause what we call electrocutions, and we have it right here. Spilling drinks on electrical equipment. What are the things that can? What are the cause of this safety risks? Electrocution. What could cause it? Spilling drinks. So it's not advisable to carry drinks around your electrical appliances. Exposed wires or damage insulation. Okay, exposed wire could cause electrocution. You don't play around exposed wires, especially the ones that are connected to power supplies. Okay, unsafe electrical equipment. Okay, unsafe electrical equipment, you have to also be careful of that. Unsafe electrics for wall sockets. Wall sockets are not being mounted properly, the wires are out, you have to be careful. It can lead to okay, and you lose a lot of blood. Okay, a lot of blood. So you want to avoid it. So these are the cause of safety risk. What are the prevention methods? Don't allow drinks. Check all wire on a regular basis. Okay, ensure all equipment are checked. Make it what we call the residual circuit breaker. Okay, current breaker. I use it. That's why I'm using it at my home, right? Because why power supply is stable, I don't trust them. It could just flicker in a minute, and that could damage a lot of things. But having a residual current breaker will prevent a kind of electrocution. Okay, all right. So we have what? Electrocution. So I'm going to type this here. Electrocution. Hope we're having some fun right now. Electrocution. Electrocution. Is that the spelling? Yes. Okay. All right. Overloading socket by plugging in too many devices is going to cause a fire hazard. Okay. I know I'm guilty as charged. Back then when I was in school, right? I'm Nigerian, right? Schooled in Nigerian school. I schooled over here in Nigeria, and I can tell you that power supply is not really something that comes. It's not something that comes heaven to us. We see it once a while. And back then in school, when we have that privilege of seeing power supply, everybody just want to plug in such a way that we can have one socket, right, and then we have an extension to it, a wall extension to it, and somebody is plugging here, plugging here, plugging here, plugging here, plugging here, plugging here, plugging everywhere. It can cause fire hazard, and it did. That was obviously a phone got damaged. Thanks the heavens, it was not my phone. I would have cried. I would just, I would have cried. Really, I would have cried, right? But then again, it's a lesson because these things are really happening. So you don't overload a socket by plugging in too many devices. It's going to cause a fire hazard, and we can see it right here. Okay, right here. Okay, overloaded wall socket, overheating of computer equipment due to poor heat dispensation. Don't use your appliances under a heat environment. Exposed wires causing what? A short circuit. So what are the preventions? Increase numbers of wall sockets. And this is me saying to the schools, increase numbers of wall sockets to university schools so that we can plug our devices. We don't have to cluster around one wall socket, right? Okay. Do not cover the cooling vent in the computer equipment. Don't cover the cooling vent. Let the cooling vent comes in to cool all those appliances. Okay. Clean out dust, okay, on computers to prevent overheating. People don't even clean their laptops. The dust can cluster to your computers and it can lead to that, okay. Ensure a good room ventilation. Ensure that the computer room there's enough air coming into it, right? Okay, all right. So fire hazard here. I'm doing something different in this video. For the first time, I'm actually writing this down. Fire hazard. Okay, yeah. So that shows you that I am doing something different in paper one, right? Okay. Trailing cables across the floor. Trailing cables. And you see trailing cables, and if the children are not careful, they can trip on it and they will fall. It can lead to physical injuries. So what comes to mind? Tripping hazard. Okay. Tripping hazard, right? Tripping hazard. Okay, and I will explain this. So trailing cables, right here, trailing cables on the floor, damaged carpet and other flooring. If it's a damaged carpet, you can step on it. Damaged tiles, by step on it, you can fall. Okay, so you have to avoid it. So what are the prevention? Use cable ducts to make the wire safe. Now in computer rooms, you don't put wires on the floor. Rather, you can use cable ducts to duct them on the walls. Okay, or you use to just put wires on them and you can roll it through. Okay, so cover the exposed wires. Okay, under the decks, away from general throughfare. Okay, if you have a carpet, you can put it inside the carpet. Okay, you cover them. Okay, use another thing that can save this tripping hazard. Use wireless connectivity if it's possible. Okay, it's going to eliminate the unnecessary need for too many cables in an office. Okay, now we have computers that are wireless, monitor wireless, system unit wireless. They all use what we call the USB dongle, right? The connectors, we call them the connectors, and you have your monitor, you have your system unit, you have your keyboard, mouse, all wireless, and you plug it into you plug the connectors into your system unit, and that saves you unnecessary wiring, right, all around, which can help us to avoid this disaster. Okay, all right. Then the next one is placing a laser printer at the edge of a table. This can cause physical injuries, personal injuries. Placing printer at the edge of the table, it can fall. And if it falls on you, that will lead to what we call a personal injury. It will lead to personal injury. Okay? It will lead to personal what? Injury. Okay? And also, not just that, don't place heavy equipment on tables that are not strong enough. Don't place it. Okay? It's also right here. Decks collapsing under weight decks not designed to take in the weight. So use decks, the prevention is use decks strong enough to take the weight of what? The computer equipment. Okay? Use large decks and tables so that hardware is not too close to the edge where it will fall off. Okay, so hope we're having the fun of that. Let's look at another question. Question 6. Are we that close? Oh, we're making progress. Question 6. A student has set up a password for his laptop. Students, they do that all the time, setting up password for their laptop. I have issues with over here. I have issues with students setting up passwords and they forget it. Come on, set passwords you can remember and be strong enough. Okay, all right. The password he has chosen is, oh my god, that is a strong password. But can he or she remember it? All right. Discuss the benefit and drawbacks of using this password. Okay. I think I've said some things. I've said some answers already. So let's look at the benefit. Let's look at the benefit real quick. So benefits. So I'm going to put benefit here. Benefits. Please, whenever you have questions like this, the first thing you do is put benefits. Okay. And then you start listing those benefits. So what are those benefits? This is a strong password, right? It is a strong password. That is a strong. Okay, it is a strong password. So strong, okay, that every system, every algorithm is going to say strong. Okay, every algorithm is going to say strong password. When you type it in, they will tell you strong. Okay, strong password. And because it's a strong password, it makes it difficult to crack. Okay, that's another benefit. Difficult to what? To crack. Okay, and because of that, it's difficult to crack. It makes it more secured. You see how you are getting more answers to it, right? It makes it what? More secured. More secured. Okay, yes. I think how many marks is this? Let's see what we can do. This is 6 marks. Okay, so it makes it more secured. Okay, now another thing is, how is it difficult to crack? It's difficult to crack because it doesn't contain any personal information. So somebody cannot easily just guess. Okay, maybe it's your birthday or something. Okay, all right. Now let's look at the drawbacks. Drawbacks. Now I can tell you that password will be difficult to remember, right? So it is difficult. Is it difficult? Easy to forget. Sorry, easy, right? It will be so easy to forget. See, I will have to write it down because, come on, that password is. So it's not easy. So it's easy to forget. Yeah, it is easy to forget. Okay, it's easy to forget because it has many. Let's check. It has many different characters. We have uppercase, lowercase, different special symbols, because it has many different characters. Okay, that's one. Okay, now another drawback is the user will have to what? Write it down. Okay, to remember it. Okay, yes, and that's a drawback because somebody can easily check your drawer and get the password. Okay, So that means the user may have to write it down to remember it. Okay? Okay? Which may lead to people having access to it. Okay? Yes. Now, another drawback is that it is long, it is complex, and it could be mistyped. You can forget. You can even forget that you wrote it down, and you may not write it correctly, and or maybe you try to memorize it and you may not get the right thing. Okay, so that is another drawback. So it is long. Okay, it is complex. Thereby, it could lead to what? Mistype. Doing what? Insertion. Doing keying in the password. Okay, so it is complex, thereby it could lead to what? To mistype doing keying your password, right? Keying in the password. You want to key in your password and you forgot that you put in, let me see, what did you do? What did they do again? That you put P, it could be PX2Z and you put 22. Okay, so yes. Hope that was helpful. And strong password. Chapter for a strong password. That is chapter. Yeah, all road leading to this should be for strong password is also going to be communications. Yes, communications. Let me see. I've seen. Let me see. Communications or let me get it here. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, I think communications. Yeah. Well, okay, protection of data. Protection of data, chapter 8. Chapter 8, not chapter 10. Protection of data. How can you protect it with the use of what? Your password. So it's right here. Password is right here. Password is right here. Yes, right here. Password are used to restrict access to data or systems. Okay. It's important that passwords are protected some ways, and of course, use a strong password. Okay, but also be easy to remember. Okay, so very important. All right, let's move on. The student could have protected his laptop using two-factor authentication. Now I'm going to tell you what two-factor authentication is. Two-factor authentication is the use of gaining access to your account by authenticating it using another means. Okay, so we call it two-factor authentication. So you are authenticating it twice. One, typing in your password, and then there is an authentication. I use that. As of the time of this recording, my LinkedIn account was hacked. I don't know who did that. I don't know who hacked my account. I didn't use authentication any form of. I didn't use two-factor authentication because I didn't really see the need of people hacking my account. It's not like I'm a celebrity or something, right? Okay, right. So So it was hard, but finally I was able to fill out the forms, communicate with Microsoft, and I got my LinkedIn account back today. Okay, it was hacked on August 18th. Okay, and I got it back today. After sending message to my friends to just report the account, report the account. So I've used two-factor authentication. I use Google Authenticator to actually do that. So yes, okay. So the system could have been protected. The student could have protected his laptop by using two-factor authentication. This could have combined his password with what a biometric method. State two examples of biometric method he could use. Now, biometric, we'll talk about biometrics still on that same chapter. There are those things that are unique to us. Okay, simply means that without us, they can't be able to have access to it. So what are those biometrics for laptops? We have one, the retina scan. So right here on my laptop, when signing in, it could read my face and then gain access to it. Okay, so we have the retina scan. Okay, no, that's facial recognition. Sorry, facial recognition, not retina scan. Facial recognition. Retina will just read your eye. Retina scan is for reading your eye. Facial recognition. And then we have the fingerprint. I put my fingerprint right here, right? So we have the fingerprint. Okay, fingerprint. And we have here, if you check here, you should be able to see here as well. We have other ones, retina scan. We have voice recognition, right? We have voice recognition. It's here. Where am I going to? So two-factor authentication, right? With the ability to prove who you are. There are three common factors of authentication. Something you know, that's your PIN. Something you have, your phone. Something is unique to you, biometric. So we use something that is unique to you. Two methods of what? Authentication to verify who the user is. So we have the biometrics here. Okay, so we have biometrics here. Okay, right here. So we have signature recognition, iris recognition, that's for eye, facial recognition, okay, voice recognition, then fingerprint scan. Okay. Question 7. A system analyst has been asked, okay, to carry out an analysis of a company's current computer system. System life cycle. Analysis phase, design phase, development and testing phase. Work with me. Implementation stage, documentation stage, and evaluation stage. Okay. All right. So we have these various phases. Okay. So we'll look at the analysis phase because I said system analyst has been asked. The only time system analyst comes in place is the analysis and the design. So the system analyst has been asked to carry out an analysis of a computer's current company system. State 3 methods of analyzing the current system. Okay, like this question is like the favorite. It's the best question for my students. They love this kind of question because over time it's like when they see this question, they have the finally something we know, right? So we have 4 of them. Okay, we have the observation. We have interviews, we have questionnaires, and we have what? Examining what? The existing what? Document. And you see that right here in chapter 7. Okay, chapter 7, analysis phase. Okay, the analysis stage. So we have it here. So this is what we're talking about. This is the life cycle where we have analysis, design, development / testing, implementation, documentation, and evaluation. Okay. Now in the analysis phase or stage, now the first stage is what is the process, all right, which is the analysis of what the coin system. You have to analyze the coin system. What is wrong with the coin system? And there are various ways we can do that. There are 4 methods. The question say what? The 3 methods. It's different from when we talk about the processes of analyzing the coin system. There's a difference. But here we're talking about the methods. So the methods are 4. Observation, questionnaires, interview, examination of what the existing document. Okay. Now we'll talk about the processes of analyzing. We have to research the coin system. We have to identify the input and output. Okay. What processes takes place. Okay. Problem with the coin system. User requirement for the new system. Okay. What are the information required? Then you identify the hardware and software for the new system. Very, very important. Okay. So that is very, very important. Okay. So we have that. So observation. So I have observation here. I have interview. Questionnaires. Examination of the existing system. All right. I'm taking my time to explain this so that you can understand it over and over again. Now, the system analyst is working with a team to create some new softwares. Okay, he's working with a team to create some new softwares. The software documentation will be stored on the cloud. Describe how the team can use the cloud to share the documentation. Now come again. They said it's working with a team to create some new softwares. Okay. The software documentation will be stored on the cloud. Describe how the team can use the cloud to share the documentation. So how would the team be able to use the cloud? Talking about cloud storage. First of all, the documentation is uploaded to the cloud storage, maybe Google Drive. That's the first thing. Then access is now given to members. You have to share that documentation. Okay, you have to share the documentation. Because of time, I may not have to type this. I will just explain it. Okay. Like I said, the first one is documentation will have to be uploaded to the cloud. Example: Google Drive, OneDrive. Then access is, you have to share it. Access is then given to the members of the team. You have to share it by putting their email addresses. Okay. Members of the team will log into the cloud. Okay. And members of the team will then, once they log into the cloud, they will see the documentation under the shared with me. Okay. Members of the team can then update the documentation. So as they're updating it in real time, other members are also seeing that as well. The documentation during that update, it's synced together. Okay. And this can be tracked by the owner of what? The document. And not just that. Beauty of cloud storage is that several copies can also be made. Okay. So that's the process it goes through. Some things I will have to type, some I will not have to type because of time. Members of the team can use video conferencing to join meetings from different locations around the world. This is happening, video conferencing. We're talking about Zoom. We're talking about Google Meet. We're talking about Teams, right? So, yeah. Okay. Now, describe giving 3 disadvantages of using video conferencing for business meetings rather than meeting in person. So we have to discuss 3 disadvantages. Describe 3 disadvantages. Now let's talk about this. Communication issues. Talking about network lagging. Yes. I have classes with my students online. Virtual communication. And most of the time, they're like, so I didn't get what you did. I didn't really get what you did. You know, so yes, communication issue. Because I might be communicating at the time of my communication over at your end, you might not be getting it in real time. So there's that lagging issue right there. Okay? Another thing is background noise. You could be in a meeting and there's background all around, there's noises all around, which could be distracting. That is a disadvantage. Okay. Of course, users may be distracted. How? I've had to teach I'm using my student as an example, and also meetings that I've been. I have been in several online video conferencing for business meetings, and I can tell you that most time it could be distracting. I could have my television um, right in front of me, and while I'm in the meeting, my eye could just be in the Man City game. I want to see Pep, Pep Guardiola, doing his magic with Man City, trying to win the treble again. Okay, and I'm watching. I'm like, I'm distracted. But if this was a physical meeting, you're not gonna have television around now. Okay, so yes, that could actually pose. It could actually pose as an issue. Okay. Another thing is, it could be difficult to carry out projects. In terms of projects, if it's a physical meeting, we have people working together. But if it's online, everybody's working on their own. Okay. And another thing is, like I said, communication issue. You need a very fast internet. Requires a fast internet, stable internet. Okay. As the documents, okay, or images require a great amount of bandwidth. Documents require, especially if you're sharing your screen or whatever, it requires a lot of that. Another thing is time zone difference. I've had physical meetings. I've had video business meetings online via video conferencing, 3 a.m. in Nigerian time, and it's 7 p.m. over there. Yeah. Sometimes 3 a.m. over here, and it's in the afternoon over there. Time zone differences. Okay. Staff, members of the meeting may be in one part of the country that may not be favorable to another, may be difficult. Okay. And that will be, it's not going to go smoothly. Okay. Another one is, training might be required. How will training be required? Because this is it requires training, right? It may take time and it's expensive to set up. Okay, some people have to buy it. Okay. All right. Compare the optical. This is in chapter 4 of the textbook. You see that in chapter 4 of the textbook under networks. Now, question 8a. Compare optical mark readers with optical character readers. OMR versus OCR. Okay, and we'll see that in the data direct entry, DDE. Okay, we'll see that in DDE, data direct entry. Your answer must include similarities and differences. So let's check it. Okay, this is in chapter 2 of the textbook. Chapter 2 of the textbook. One is just to store marks, right? The other one is to convert text into digital. Okay, so we have right here DDE. Okay, so right here, sorry, after input, I mean output, sorry. Yes, right here, OCR, and then we have the OMR right here. So now this can read marks, okay, written in pen. They are used for multiple choice, while the OCR will just convert text, right, into what an electronic form. So now let's go back to this and let's look at the similarities and then the differences. Okay, now for similarities, they can both read datas using what is similar between them? Optical. Using what? Optical method. Okay, they both use what we call the direct data entry. Yes, they're under the direct data entry. Okay, another one is both are input devices. Okay, another one is both read data very quickly. Okay, now for the differences, we can see that for the OMR does not read characters written in what OMR does not what read the characters, only the marks. Only the marks. Does not read the characters. Characters does not consist, only the marks that the OMR reads. Okay, and OMR is unable to recognize any form of machines or hard printed word characters, but the OCR what reads it. The OMR does not do that. So we need to understand the differences between that. I think we can see that here as well. For disadvantages for OCR, still not an accurate technique, and we can also see that okay, this is comparison between them. So we can actually see this here. Okay, OCR is used for converting printed documents to an editable text. But the OMR simply reads the position of the mark, so it's an ideal for what multiple choice. OCR is more accurate at reading detailed data. Okay, the data read from an OCR can be manipulated. Okay, by using any word processing packages. Okay, OCR word requires manual intervention to change the scan words. Okay, OCR, the OMR, right? Marks have been in what in has to be needs to be in the correct location. Like for example, it's multiple choice A B, and there is a structure, there is a design for it. So the OMR, which is optical mark recognition, have to be in what in correct position. If it's not in the correct position, you won't get the marks. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, all right. Identify two uses, okay, of what the optical mark recognition. Multiple choice, that's the first one. Multiple choice, and we can also use it for multiple choice and questionnaires. Multiple choice and questionnaires. Yeah, multiple choice and questionnaires. Multiple choice or questionnaires, they are still the same thing. Okay, let's check. Questionnaires. We also have attendance registers. Yes, attendance registers. So multiple choice, questionnaires, attendance registers can also work for that. Okay, can we see the uses for the OMR? Okay, just to read questionnaires, multiple choice papers, voting papers. Okay, for voting as well. Okay, all right. So we have what? I think I can type this in. Multiple choice, attendance register, voting papers, questionnaires. Yes. All right. Question 9. Let's look at it. Absolute and relative file paths are used in the content layer when creating a web page. We need to explain this. Absolute and relative file paths are used in the content layer when creating a web page. This you will see this in chapter 21 when we are talking about the web development layer. We have three of them. We have presentation layer, content layer, and we have behavior layer, which is the scripting layer, right? The content layer is also what we call it's also known as the structure layer. I think yes, structure layer. Yeah. the content layer or the structure layer. Just the last page, really, not see this here, the content layer. Let me see. Yes, right here at the top. Yes, structure layer. Yeah, structure layer. Yeah. Okay. So they say explain the difference between an absolute file path and a relative file path. So let's explain it. Now let's look at this. Absolute file path contains a complete URL. Okay, a complete URL with file name. If you see it, um, absolute. So it contains, from the word absolute, contains a complete URL. Okay, with what? With file name. Contents of the URL includes protocol, website domain name, the file path, the page name, etc., etc. Why for relative, right? Only includes a specific file or page. Now this is kind of like relative to what? To the start from the same folder or the web page. Okay, to the current page, okay, or the current part, or yeah, to the current part, okay, from the same folder. What do we mean by this? For the absolute, we have the complete, the full URL. Okay, talking about the protocol, the website domain name, the specific files, etc., etc. But for the relative, we're talking about the current part only from the same folder. Okay, it's very, very important. You see that in chapter 21 as well. If you scroll down, you're going to see it's absolute and relative. It's right here somewhere. I've seen it somewhere in this textbook. That's why it's important to read the textbook. Yeah. I think. Let me see. This is padding. Border spacing. Okay, let me see. Okay. Trying to get it here. Well, I've seen it right here in chapter 21. Division tag, create a bookmark. Okay, maybe I've passed it or something. I think I've definitely passed it. But it's in chapter 21 about the 5 parts. I think I've passed it. And maybe I can search for it. Okay, because of time, it's right here. Maybe in the comment section, I can just put up the page number in the comment section for you guys. Okay. Now, explain why absolute file path should not be used for hyperlinks to local saved web pages. Simple. It contains the complete. So why it should not be used for hyperlinks to locally saved web pages? It's simple. Hyperlinks will not work. Okay. If the page has more than what? More than the reference refers to what the previous file path, then it's not going to work. So that's why the absolute file path should not be used. It's relative. It can change. It can change. especially to locally saved web pages on your computer. Okay. Anchor and hyperlinks are both used in HTML. Okay. Compare an anchor, compare an anchor with an hyperlink. Your answer must include similarities and also differences. Anchor and hyperlinks. Can I tell you something? Both are links. Yeah, both are links. Your anchor for bookmark. We still use anchor for hyperlinks as well. We want to link your anchor href, you call it in, your anchor name or ID for bookmark. Okay, they're both links. And both can be attached to text. Both can be attached to text. Both can be used for navigations. Yes. And both are coded in the HTML using what we call the angle, then A. And then you close it as well. Okay. What do I mean? Let me show you what I mean. Talking about this. So both are coded with HTML using this. A. You have your name for anchor. You have for href. Okay. And both ends with this. Okay. The attributes are not probably the name. Okay. So yes. Now let's talk about the differences real quick. Let's talk about the differences. Now for the differences, an anchor allows the user to move from one part of the web page to another. Okay. Hyperlinks are attached to a block of text or what? Text or codes. To text or what? Or images, not codes rather. They've been attached to a text or what? Images. Sometimes you see that in hyperlinks, we do that in text, we also do that in images. Okay, that's another one. That's one difference between both of them. Now, an anchor we would need a point set in document, right, and a link. Okay. Now, what do I mean by this? What do I mean by this, real quick? When we talk about an anchor, we need a point, okay, set in the document, okay, and a link, right? A hyperlink only needs a link and a web address, but a link and a web address. But an anchor will need what? A point set in document, and we do that with bookmark. A good example is bookmark. Okay, we can bookmark any point in a document. For hyperlinks, we need what? Like I said, we need what? A link and of course a website address. Another point is an anchor tag can be placed at any point in a web page. Okay, hyperlinks is clickable. Hyperlinks can be what? Redirected to an anchor by clicking its name. Okay, yeah. So hope you've understand what we mean by anchor, and that anchor moves any part. For hyperlinks, right, they need to be clicked on, right? Some people use dialogue-based interface to operate their car audio system. Dialogue-based user interface. This is chapter 1 of the textbook. Okay, yes, chapter 1 of the textbook. We looked at it, chapter 1. We will talk about the user interface. We have the command line interface. We have the graphic user interface. We have the dialogue based user interface. And we have the dialogue, and we have the gesture based user interface. Yes. If you play Xbox, use your hand. That's gesture. Dialogue, you're speaking to it. Hey, Alexa. Hey, Siri. Right? So that works. Describe what is meant by a dialogue based user interface. We'll talk about dialogue really is software that helps us to be able to interact with the computer with the use of our speech. We communicate with it. Okay, we have Alexa. Hey Alexa, play me Feathered mode, no weapon. See that? Feathered mode, no weapon. Alexa, play me live match happening right now between Man City and maybe Chelsea. Okay. All the Chelsea fans out there. Okay. So dialogue, you're dialoguing with it. Alexa, make a make a phone call to Dr. Bernard. Alexa, turn off the light. What you would do with your hand, you dialogue. So it's a software that interacts through what speech recognition. Okay, it uses what spoken words to carry out what actions, or not just carry action, also to control devices. Alexa, turn off the AC. Put on the AC. It also leads to laziness. Okay, don't write it down, but I think that should be like the disadvantage or something. Because what we do with our physical hands, talking about microprocessors, okay, and the effects of using them, that's chapter 5, but that's not what we're talking about here. This is chapter 1. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, let me click here. Describe the as if I knew this was about. Describe the benefit and drawbacks of what using a dialogue based user interface in this way. So let's talk about the benefits, let's talk about the drawbacks real quick. Benefits and drawbacks. Let's talk about it. Now, for benefits, it allows for hand-free control. You're not using your hands. You're just speaking. While you're doing other things, you're speaking to Alexa. Another thing is, it's more useful for physical disabled people, people who have accidents, they can't really move. This is perfect for them. Okay. Now, disadvantages or drawbacks is it can be distracting if the commands are not what understood. Yes, it is. Alexa, please karaoke. I don't know. I'm just coming up with something, and Alexa will be like, I do not understand that. Alexa, karaoke something. Please, I do not understand that. Alexa, karaoke something. It can be distracting, right? If the commands are not understood. Okay, it needs to be trained by the user. The software will need to understand your voice. Okay, and it's more expensive. Okay, more expensive to develop. It may not operate reliably due to what the background noise or speeches impediment. Okay, so it may not operate to the full extent if the background noise is around. Okay, let's look at the next one. Question 11. Portable hard drives can be solid state drives or hard disk drive. Explain why the SSD may be better to use than the HDD. I really want to explain this. SSDs are the recent storage devices because they make it what we call flash memories. Okay, hard disk drives, they are magnetic. Okay, they are magnetic. Now, so let's look at this. The SSD is more portable due to the size, and because of that, it is now laptops can now be easily miniaturized to notebooks. Okay, the seek time for the SSD in the SSD is smaller. Not just that, the data transfer rate and the data access time is faster and better than the HDD. Okay, SSD uses less energy. SSD is more robust as there are no moving parts, unlike the hard disks that have magnetic, they have platters around, there's also a CD around. They are not moving parts. Okay, which is very um which is way safer and better. Another thing is that there's less chance of the data becoming corrupted, and it can be saved while the drive is being moved, unlike the hard drive. Please, this is, you see this in chapter 3 of your textbook, right? We will talk about storage. It's very important you go through. We have the optical, magnetic, and we have also what? The flash memories. Your pen drive falls under that. Okay? Alright. Question 12. Many media companies can now provide media streamings for users to watch their television programs. I'm talking about Netflix. Now, if you're not thinking of Netflix, then I don't know. You should not. I think you should not be watching this right now. Really, trust me. Netflix is the first thing that came to my mind. Like Netflix, Showmax. Okay, let me know in the comment section. Right, let me know in the comment section. Or that YouTube. Okay, don't say YouTube. I've said YouTube. Don't say YouTube. I've said YouTube. Okay. Yes, and they provide this media streaming for users to watch their television programs. Okay. Yes. Explain what is meant by the term media streaming. People know this a lot. We'll talk about media streaming, and we've mentioned just a handful of them. We'll talk about media streaming is there is no need for storage space as there is no copy. You are just streaming those musics, movies without need of any physical storage. That's one way. Can I drop the mic? Okay, that's one way. Okay. Instant access to the media. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy a DVD, a DVD player. Okay, you don't have to buy the discs. You just instant access. And another thing is, or that these are actually like benefits really why media streaming are actually really cool. But when we talk about media streaming, right? I'm just getting you tensed up about that. When we talk about media streaming, this is the process of having access, right, to these favorite movies without the need of you downloading them. Okay, which is one of the things that is really trending right now, and you can see that like your Netflix, YouTube, your Showmax, and all the rest. And another thing is about media streaming is media streaming can be recorded. Okay, it could be recorded content, it could be live content. Okay, another thing is that the playback is on time. There's always playback, and it allows the user, right, to be able to view it without downloading. Like I said, that's what we're talking about. Which there's only a physical. There's no need of physical storage, so the users are able to just view it, okay, without downloading them. Okay, yes, and also just to add to it, this informations are delivered and sent to your computers via the internet. So it simply means that for you to be able to stream, you need internet. Do we have? Yes, we'll talk about the benefits and drawback of media streaming, because I saw this. I just wanted to just explain that for you as well. Okay, so please, media streaming talks about live or recorded content, talks about allowing the user to be able to view those media without downloading it, and also these medias are delivered to your computers by the internet. Okay, so what are the benefits of what I've said? No physical copy. Okay, no physical copy, right? As these informations can be streamed directly without any of you buying any players or whatever. Okay, and you have instant access to them. Like I said, it saves time because you don't need to download them. But what about the drawbacks? Drawback is the fact that you need internet connection. That should be the first thing on your mind. Internet connection, okay, to be able to watch any movie or listen to any song, especially movies. Okay, you require a good internet connection what we call otherwise buffering. Okay, so you require a good internet connection or bandwidth, a good internet connection, otherwise buffering. You don't get to keep the product. If you watch Netflix and you don't subscribe, you don't have it. Although Netflix have created where you can download it. Okay, you can actually download it even if you've processed for it, but we'll talk about the streaming itself. Okay, you don't get to keep the product. Okay, and these products are downloaded inside the platform. Okay, not local copy. Okay, now another one is security. Okay, online security issues related, because you have to subscribe for it. It's not free. Okay, you have to pay to actually use this. Okay, if media is downloaded, it is time locked sometimes. Yes. Okay, or another thing, it could fail. Technology could fail, right, in the middle of the stream. There could be a downtime. This will not happen if you have a local copy of it. Question 13. Question 13. GIF and GIF file format are used to store images. This, you see this in chapter 11, talking about file management. Okay, chapter 11 talking about file management. You see this here. So please, it's important you go through it. Now, give one reason for using each of these file formats. Each of the reason must be different. So let's look at GIF. Let's look at JPG. Now let's talk about the full meaning of each of them. For GIF, graphic interchange format, I want to be sure. Okay, I want to be sure. JPEG means joint. Question 11. Where are you? Chapter 11. Okay, right here, you're going to see right here, chapter 11. Yes, joint photographic expert group. The expert is there. Okay, yes, sometimes it's JPEG. Okay, that's why the expert is there. Sometimes it's JPEG. Sometimes we call it JPG, sometimes it's JPEG. So, but although it's popularly known as JPG, right? You can call it JPEG. So, joint photographic expert group. Then PNG is portable. PNG is portable network graphics, and then PDF is portable document format. Please know what this is. Okay. Then the GIF is, oh yes, I got it. Graphics interchange format. Okay. This format stores still or moving images, right? Still moving images, all those GIF. Okay. And the efficient method of storing images using a smaller file size. Okay. So that's what it does. So give one reason. They are used to store what we call animated or moving images. Okay. We use it to store icons as well. Now for JPEG or simple logos, for JPEG, JPG, joint photographic group or expert group, JPEG, used to store photographic images. It's also used to store graphics with complex colors and gradients. Okay. The B part. Explain the differences between the two file formats. The first one you start with is the keyword. GIF is what? Graphics interchange format. That's the first one. 2, image quality never downgrades with what? With your GIF. Okay, it's always going to be the same, and the GIF is supported by all web browsers. Really, okay. It's also what another important thing is that it features background transparency. You see that GIF when the images are moving. Okay. Now for JPG, which is joint photographic group. There's only of you put in the expert group because it's JPEG. It's otherwise sometimes known as JPEG. So you can also put it if you want to. Okay. Another one is the image quality is better for the JPEG. Another one is that there's no background transparency. Okay, no background transparency. Another one is I don't want to go to color codes really. because it's a lot, so I'm not going to call it. But there's a difference between the color codes, right? So you can actually read it up. Another thing is that it uses what we call lousy compressors, but then again, just know that there is no background transparency. The full meaning of it, the image quality is far better. Okay, yes. And how many marks is this? Is 6 marks. So I think um, we've actually mentioned this. Okay. Now for the GIF, image quality never downgrades with receives, but for the JPG it does. Okay, I think it does. I've seen it. So it can downgrade slightly with the JPEG receive. Okay. C part. The size of an image can be reduced by changing the format, the file format of the image of what? The image. This is true. The file size, especially if you're changing a PNG to a JPEG, the file size can actually what? Reduce. So you need to know this. Now, state 2 other ways of reducing the file size of an image. What are the ways? Change the resolution, quality of the image. That's the quality. Change the quality of the image. We do this in paper 3, the bit depth. Okay, we call it reducing what? The color depth or bit depth. Sometimes we have it as 32 bits, we have it as 8 bits, 16 bits. Okay, other one is reduce layers. Okay, reduce layers, compress the file. That's another way, right? All right. Question 14. Identify the most appropriate method for reducing data entry errors. I come again. Identify the most appropriate method for reducing data entry errors from the description given. Data entry. This is, we call it proofing. We also see this in a little bit in chapter 7, the design phase, talk about validation routines. Okay, but then again we see it in proofing. This is in chapter I think chapter 11 is file management, 12 is images, 13 is styles, 14 should be proofing. Let's see, 14 should be proofing. Let's see. Okay, layout is layout. So 14 is styles. So 15 is proofing. 15 is proofing then. Okay, let's go proofing. Yes, we have this. So we have various data entry. Okay, we have proofing. Oh, of course, we have the validations. We have the double data entry. We have the visual check. You see that right here. Let me see. Verification. Okay, so we have for verification, we have visual verification, we have double data entry. So let's see what they're talking about. They said identify the most appropriate method for reducing data entry errors from the description given. Manual checking the data without reference to the original copy. Okay, manually checking the data without reference to the, okay, that is proofreading. So when you are manually checking without reference, you are just proofreading it. You see it right here. Okay, it's right here. They said visual verification, also called visual check, is checking data errors by, this is comparing. That's visual verification. You are comparing. But proofreading without reference to the original document is right here. Can you see that? It said it's not particular, but it is often used incorrectly by students. Proofreading is a part of proofing process. It's not a form of verification. It is a careful reading and rereading. So it's not part of verification. It's not a form of verification. It's the careful reading and reading of the document before it is finally printed. Before you print your document, right? You have to go through it to detect any errors, probably in spelling, grammar, punctuation, or layout. Okay. Checking the data checking that the data being entered is reasonable. That's validation. Okay, it's reasonable. We have validation checks. We have length check, range check, um, present check. Okay. What again? Character check. Okay. All right. It's a lot of checks. Preventing errors when data is copied from one medium to another. When you are preventing, what could that be? That is preventing. That is verification. It's a way of preventing errors when data is copied from one medium to another. Like you're copying it from paper to what, to disks. You have to verify. You have to prevent the errors. You have a paper, you're copying it to your laptop. You have to verify. Okay. Okay. Let's look at. And with that, we are done with this paper. So with this, we are done. So thank you very much for watching and learning along the process. Please, I want to refer you to Ajiro Tech. Yeah, this YouTube channel is loaded. Trust me. Paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 is absolutely everything you need as an IGCSE ICT student for studying, self-study, group studying, also where maybe you don't understand something your teacher taught you in class, you can come to Ajiro Tech. This is a friendly space for students to come in to learn, to grow, and to have your A star. Okay, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this with a friend, your classmates, and to everyone who are praying for IGCSE ICT. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.